There are many accidental deaths which may be occurring in the there are many accidental deaths which may be occurring in the house or in the environment where we live. So today I will be dealing with you death due to hypothermia. Uh, I think I should first do the death in the bathrooms and then death due to hypothermia. Now, in the modern residences, bathroom is considered as the most dangerous place where many accidents and so many deaths may occur, particularly of the children and the young and the old people. So this is the view of a bathroom. Now, the death in the bathroom, injuries and accident at the home are common occurrence, which can be serious, and for the young children and the aged people, and it usually happens in the bathroom, kitchen, and also with the toys. But bathroom is the most important. These accidents or these happening may be, most of them they are accidental, but some of them they are homicidal and some of them they are suicidal, and there are just a very few where there is a pact present that homicidal and suicidal, both of them they are present when there are multiple victims present. What are the various causes of injuries and death? First of all, there is slip and fall, then burn by the hot water, and death due to electric shock, and drowning in the bathtub, then poisoning, either local or ingestion of the bathroom cleaning products, then the medicines and the prescription drugs which may have been stored in the bathroom, they may be taken and they may cause poisoning, and then there are certain sharp objects also which may lead to injuries. Now this is the photo of, this is the slide where you can see that a person has slipped onto the soap bar and he is present in the bathtub. Such a person may be injured, sustaining many injuries, fracture of the limbs, head injuries, fracture of the skull, or there may be death present. Another case in which a person has fallen in the bathroom and you may find that the person is unconscious or lying dead on the floor of the bathroom. So the slips and falls, these are one of the leading causes of accidental death in the bathroom. So the conditions which raise the risk of falls include impairment of the vision, gait and balance disturbances. If a person has got some problem in walking or in maintaining the balance, either due to disease or due to old age or due to physical injuries, so these people they are much more prone to having slip and fall. Then there may be weakness present, a person may be ill or may be recovering from an illness, so there is a weakness present, and paralysis or partial paralysis of the body. And there are certain medications which may cause unsteadiness, and then there is disorientation. This disorientation may be due to the diseases maybe due to the use of various medications or alcohol. Environmental factors also contribute to fall and injuries, which include poor lighting. If the light they are not present, or there is load shedding present and there is darkness present, the person may not be able to appreciate. So poor lighting, cluttered space, too many things are present in a small space. Rugs are present in the floor and the person may be caught up in that rug and may trip and fall. Exposed electric cords, there are certain wires running and one person may be get caught in that wires and may slip. Slippery floors, particularly if there is soap present, detergent present on the floor, then they may become slippery, or if the floor they are not properly cleaned and there is a growth of algae, then they also become slippery and you just put your foot and you may slip and sustain injuries. Then walking around on the soap and water, if there is spillage of soap, lather, detergent and water on the floor, person can slip from that uneven floor and the stairs which may be present in the bathroom. So these are the various causes where the chances of slipping and fall are more. The second is burn from the hot water. So a person may have got burned from the hot water. You can see the redness, which is the burning of the skin, and then also you can see the broken blisters. These are all of them scalds. You will be taught about these burns and scalds more, but another reason of injuries in the bathroom is because of the hot water, which can lead to burning and scalding and blister formation. So hot water and heating devices, they contribute substantially to the number of burns in the bathrooms. Small children, older people, or people with loss of sensations, they are at a greater risk for death due to burns. So suppose if the tub is full of hot water and the small child is placed in that, then there is a chance that such a person is going to have burns. Similarly, older people, they may not be able to appreciate the temperature, or they may be present in the bathtub for a longer time, they may not be able to come out. So these people may be having a greater chance of getting burnt. If there is numbness present, if there is loss of sensation present in the limbs, then also such people may not be able to guess the temperature of the water, and they have got a higher risk of sustaining deaths from burns. Elderly people have got thinner skin and they have got poor microcirculation in the periphery. They have got increased susceptibility to infection, and to the rate of burn shock is higher in the young people. In the younger people, because the body surface area to the body mass, the surface area is large and mass is less, so these people, they go into shock very rapidly. And there may be electric shock present in the bathroom. An important cause of death in the bathroom is the use of electric devices like the hair dryer or the shaving machines, when the hands or the floor of the bathroom is wet. So whenever there is water present, the electricity, it can travel much more easily. Similarly, if we put these electrical appliances on a wet surface or on a sink, so there may be not only water present, but also there is the other things which are very good conductors, like the tap, like the pipes. So in that situation, the chances of sustaining an electric shock become much more. Shock by dropping a hair dryer into a bathtub is a sure way to severely injure or kill a person. So there are certain cases in which some electric appliances they have been put in the bathtub full of water so that the person who is taking a bath may be electrocuted, and in this case there may not be any evidence present on the skin, there may not be any electric mark present or entry of the mark of entry of the electricity, and the cause of death may not be known and it may appear as a natural death in the bathroom. Drowning may be present. Drowning in the bathroom, in the bathtub may be present. Drowning in the bathroom is a major incidence in the young children, as they can drown in just a few inches of water. Suppose there is a water reservoir, there is some water present in a small tub or in a bucket, and these incidences they happen regularly, that a small child may go inside the bathroom and may tip inside that bucket. There may be just a few inches of water, but the child is unable to come out of that water and may die due to drowning. Drowning in the bathroom, it is very common. It is very dangerous and it is very common, especially in the young children. Adults with neurological problems like epilepsy, hemiplegia, they can also drown accidentally. So many a time it happens that the person is taking bath, he is present in the bathtub, and there he has an epileptic fit, and during that epileptic fit he may become drowned. Similarly, if a person has got hemiplegia, they can also drown accidentally because they may not be able to balance themselves and they may not be able to come out of the bathtub, and there they drown. Some of the elderly can develop cardiac arrhythmias and the decrease of the systolic blood pressure during bathing. So, young, older people who are suffering from cardiovascular diseases, they may develop arrhythmias or they may have a decreased blood pressure during when they take the bath. These changes, these may contribute to the cardiac arrest or to drowning in the bathtub. So drowning in the bathtub, it is quite a common occurrence, not only in the Western countries but in Pakistan also. Then there may be poisoning present. Various agents are present in the bathroom which may lead to poisoning, and sometimes these poisoning may be lethal. This may be, generally it is accidental, but many a time it can be suicidal or sometimes it may be homicidal. Bathroom cleaning products can also pose a danger. Bleach, ammonia, these are on the list of common bathroom cleaners, and if they are mixed together, they can create a deadly gas. They can also irritate the eyes and the respiratory system all on their own. So a person may be breathing the fumes, and if both of them they are mixed, then the ammonia gas may be liberated, which may cause irritation of the respiratory system and may lead to respiratory problems or even death. Some bathroom cleaners they contain hydrochloric acid as its active ingredients. Other use sodium hypochlorite. Most of them they have got sodium hypochlorite, which is commonly known as a bleach. Both can be corrosive on the skin, to the skin on contact. So hydrochloric acid is the drain opener and the bleach is the hypochloric acid. Both of them they are very corrosive to the skin and they may cause injury and death on skin contact, and if they are ingested, then the chances that the person is going to die, that is increased. The air freshener may have got phenol or formaldehyde in it. So phenol in heavy doses can cause convulsions, respiratory problems and death. Formaldehyde is a known carcinogenic. Formaldehyde also is a very toxic substance and it may lead to acidosis and death. Then there are certain drugs of medication. The medicines and the prescription drugs in the European and in the American countries, generally people they store their drugs in the bathroom. Here in Pakistan, we put our medicines on the side table or in a drawer, closed, close at hand. But in the Western countries, mostly these drugs and the medicines they are stored in the bathroom. So many medications and prescription drugs they are kept in the bathroom, and it is mainly an issue with small children. So a child may get hold of these medicines and they may take this medicine and open them and swallow a large amount. The children they are prone to put just about anything they can get their hands on into their mouth. So whatever they find in the cabinets or in the bathroom they may swallow. And sometimes they if they have seen an elderly person or an adult person taking medicine they may just copy. Just like with the kitchen accidents, absent mindedness plays a part, and a person can easily accidentally mix the wrong medications and ingest a dangerous drug cocktail. So it is actually not only with the children that they can swallow drugs, it is with the adults also. A person may be not fully awake, may be a bit absent minded, and may take a mixture of medicines which may cause potentiation of the action of each other. And this is very common with the CNS depressants. So if the person has got 2 or 3 CNS depressant drugs like tranquilizers, hypnotics, painkiller, so they if they take a mixture of or a cocktail of these drugs, then generally the effects they may be fatal. And there is another thing, if these things they are swallowed not with water but with alcohol. So this is a very, very real problem, that synergistic action of the medications when taken in a large amount with other drugs also and alcohol, then it may cause deaths. So many of the drugs of prescription they are stored in the shelves and in the cabinet in the bathroom, and many of them they are lying over there for a long time, they may become expired. Now you can see that the containers they are having the drugs, various drugs, and if God forbid a child get hold of these things, may be poisoned. Similarly, an elderly person or a person who has got some dementia, some absent mindedness, or who is not fully awake, not in his proper senses, may take a variety of drugs from these container and may have a fatal outcome because of the synergistic action of more than one drugs. So there are drugs which are taken for the heart disease, there are drugs which are taken for the blood pressure, there are drugs for which are taken for depression. So these drugs when they are taken in large amount or concomitantly, they may lead to the potentiation of the action of one with the other. Then there are sharp objects also which may be present. So the shelves, cabinets, nozzles, faucets with pointed edge, or with mirrors with no surrounding or shattered pan. These things they are present in the bathroom. They are the one which are most often responsible for head injuries and also for occasional deaths. Leaving sharp objects like razors, scissors, tweezers in the reach of the young children may cause massive injury and death accidentally to the child. So anything which has got a sharp or pointed end where injury can happen from this should never be left at a place where it can be reached easily by a child. So these are various types of scissors. Then there may be the razors जिनको हम उस तरह कहते हैं, and safety razors. Safety razors have been produced so that the risk of sustaining injuries, even suicidal injury, cut throat, they may be minimized. So many pointed or sharp objects may be present in the bathroom, in the cabinets, and they may cause injury accidentally or sometimes even homicidal also. Next we come to the hypothermia, that is the generalized effect of cold injury. Extreme cold can have localized effect as well as the generalized effect. So the generalized effect of cold, it is known as hypothermia. Whereas the local effects, these are known as frostbite. So this is a slide showing a frostbitten toe after 2 to 3 days of mountain climbing. हम the same third and fourth degree of cold injury, we will be doing the hypothermia. There are certain precautions which are common for the prevention of hypothermia and frostbite. So the factors that can contribute to frostbite, these include the extreme wet clothes, high winds, poor blood circulation. Poor circulation can be caused by tight clothing or boots, cramped position, fatigue, certain medication, smoking, using alcohol, or diseases that affect the blood vessels such as diabetes. Wear clothing that protect you as well as you protect you well against the cold and protect exposed area. In cold weather, wear mittens but not the gloves, because when we wear mittens, then the fingers they are present in one container, and in gloves there is individual apartments. Wind protected and water resistant layered clothing, 2 pair of socks and hat and scarf which covers the ear so that and decreases the heat loss through the scalp. If you expect to be exposed to the cold for a long time, don't drink alcohol and don't smoke, and make sure to get enough food and a rest, because alcohol जो है, that causes hypothermia, and also it causes peripheral vasodilatation, so the heat loss is also increased. Smoking, it causes constriction of the peripheral blood vessels, and if we do not have enough food, then the body may not be able to maintain the temperature. If caught in a severe snowstorm, find shelter early or increase the physical activity to maintain the body warmth. Again, this can be done only if you have taken enough food. Most important way of preventing frostbite is to get out of the cold. So if you are exposed to the cold, make sure that you have got adequate protective clothing. Now this is certain slides you can see where people they are exposed to extreme degree of cold. A person is, I'm not able to say, taking a bath, or he has accidentally fallen into freezing cold water. Another is skiing naked without any clothes on. So this is really inviting hypothermia. Another person is lying on the snow. So whenever the person is in contact with the snow, the body heat will be lost very rapidly. In the last slide, you can see that a person is present without covering his head or his ear, and there is ice present around his mouth and nostrils. So the chance is that his lips may become frostbitten. These are the frostbites of the peripheral tissues, the fingers and the feet. Next we come to hypothermia. And this is a slide of hypothermia. You can see this slide is showing Napoleon coming back from Russia. And you can see in the slide many of his soldiers lying dead on the road. Even his horse looks very dejected. He is also seen dispirited. There is a picture of Napoleon Bonaparte's retreat from Russia in the winter of 1812. Many troops they died from hypothermia. You can see the dead body which is littered, which is littering the path. Many of them they have died. Hypothermia is defined as the body core temperature below 35 degrees centigrade. So whenever the core temperature, it is not the surface temperature, when the core temperature of the body falls below 35 degrees centigrade, we say that hypothermia has set in. In mild cases of hypothermia, there is shivering, and shivering is increased muscular activity and increased production of heat. There is shivering and mental confusion. And many a time due to mental confusion, the person may remove his clothes and may expose himself to further hypothermia. So there is shivering and mental confusion. In moderate hypothermia, shivering stops, confusion increases. And in severe hypothermia, there may be paradoxical undressing, where a person removes the clothing as well as an increased risk of the heart stopping. तो कार्डियक अरेस्ट होने का ज़्यादा इम्कान है. Hypothermia has got two main types of causes. It classically occurs from extreme exposure to cold. So generally we see that hypothermia will be present when there is cold conditions present, like in the mountains or wherever there is snow falling. It may also occur from any condition that decreases the production or increases the heat loss. Now that decreases the production of body heat, all the CNS drugs, CNS depressant drugs, they decrease the CNS function, and one of them is the production of heat. So all the CNS depressant drugs, they cause decrease in the production of the body heat. There are certain which cause increased heat loss. Ethyl alcohol is the example where the heat loss is increased. So these conditions, they can lead to hypothermia when the atmospheric temperature is not so very low. Commonly this includes alcoholic intoxication, but may also include like low blood sugar. If there is low blood sugar present, the CNS cannot function. There are certain diseases present and advanced age. So these are the things which may be present, which may contribute to hypothermia. Body temperature is usually maintained around a constant level of 36.5 to 37.5 degrees Celsius. So in the morning it may be a little bit less, and in the evening it may be a bit higher, but the temperature is maintained quite narrowly through thermoregulation. Efforts to increase the body temperature, it involves shivering. Shivering is the muscular action, and whenever there is muscular contraction, heat is produced. So first of all, the body shivers and the temperature is produced. Increased voluntary activity and putting on warm clothings. So when we put the warm clothings, then the loss of the body heat, it is reduced. Hypothermia may be diagnosed based upon the symptom in the presence of risk factors or measuring a person's core temperature. So if we have got the facilities available that we can take the core temperature of a person, then of course we can directly diagnose hypothermia. But if we have got, if we can look at the symptoms present and the risk factors which are also present which contribute to causing hypothermia, we should always think that the person may be suffering from hypothermia. The treatment of mild hypothermia involves warm drinks, warm clothing, and staying active. So if the person is given something warm to drink, if the person is given something warm to wear, he is covered properly, and if he is asked to be mobile, keep walking, keep exercising your limbs so that the heat production may be increased. So the hypothermia ultimately is going to go away if it is mild. In those cases with moderate hypothermia, heating blankets or warm intravenous fluids are recommended. So if the moderate hypothermia is present, we have to really cover the person with electric blanket. Or if we have to give the intravenous fluids, they should be warm or at least at the body temperature. They should not be cold. People with moderate or severe hypothermia should be moved gently, because what happens that if we try to move their limbs, cold blood from the periphery is going to go to the heart and it may lead to arrhythmias and rapid death. In severe hypothermia, extracorporeal membrane oxygenation or cardiopulmonary bypass may be useful. In those without a pulse, cardiopulmonary resuscitation is indicated along with the above measures. So if we find a person in hypothermic condition and we see we cannot find the pulse of such a person, we should not declare that this is a dead body. This is a condition of suspended animation. If you declare the person dead, he is going to die. If you say no, he may be alive and he is in hypothermia, so start cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So reforming typically continues until the person's temperature is greater than 32 degrees Celsius. If there is improvement at this point or the blood potassium level is greater than 12 millimole per liter at any time, resuscitation may be discontinued. So we should really do the cardiopulmonary resuscitation. We should also try to warm the body of the person. We should try to raise the temperature, and if that temperature, the core temperature is more than 32 degrees Celsius, if there is no improvement at this point, body temperature is up to 32 degrees, but clinically there is no improvement present, or that the blood potassium level is increased. It has increased. It is an indication that the cells, they are being lysed, and when the level of potassium is high in the blood, the myocardial contraction cannot be sustained. So that is an indication that the person has died. Hypothermia is the cause of at least 1,500 deaths per year in the United States. The number may be even more in Pakistan, but so many of these deaths, they go undiagnosed. It is more common in the old people and in the males. Old people because they are unable to maintain their body temperature. In the males because they are really more fond of outdoor activities. One of the lowest documented body temperature from which someone with accidental hypothermia has recovered is when the body temperature was 13 degrees Celsius. 13 हो गई थी. It was a case of near drowning of a 7 years old girl in Sweden. इसके बारे में मैंने पढ़ा भी था. एक बच्ची थी 7 साल की, ये अपने घर से बाहर निकली, उसके बाद वो गायब हो गई. तो पता चला कि कोई आगे थोड़ा सा उसके घर के आगे देयर वाज ए डिच प्रेजेंट और उसके ऊपर बर्फ जमी हुई थी, स्लीट, एंड व्हेन शी पुट हर फीट ऑन दैट सरफेस ब्रोकन एंड शी वाज प्लंज्ड इन द कोल्ड वाटर. तो जब उसको वहां से निकाला गया तो शी वाज वेरी कोल्ड एंड द कोर टेम्परेचर वाज 13 डिग्री सेल्सियस. But she survived after more than 6 hours of CPR. So her survival has been described. So in such cases where we have to really utilize the advanced techniques, extracorporeal membranous oxygenation or bypass, so the survival is generally about 50%. Half of the people they may survive. Death due to hypothermia have played important part in many wars. जिसमें से अभी आपको बताया कि नेपोलियन जो है, he has attacked Russia. It was very cold. Most of his army that was destroyed. Similarly, in World War II, when the Germans they attack Russia, many of the German soldiers they were perished because of hypothermia. In the ancient history also, like war of Hannibal, he was trying to cross the Alps with his army and the elephant, but they could not really sustain the extreme cold weather. So there are many wars where hypothermia has played a very important role. Hypothermia Hyperthermia is the opposite of hypothermia, being an increase in the body temperature due to failure of the thermoregulation. Now, because of the condition in the Switzerland, that is a country where cases of hypothermia may be found, so they have got a classification and there are certain signs present, symptoms present. Then they have given the degree and the temperature, rectal temperature or the core temperature. Stage 1, the person is awake, CNS, that is he is conscious, and shivering is also present. So the degree of hypothermia will be here mild only, and the temperature may be from 32 to 35. Stage 2, the person is drowsy. Now in the first he was or she was awake. Here now the person has become drowsy and also the muscles are not shivering. So the heat production has become less. So the degree of hypothermia will become moderate and the temperature will fall from 28 to 32. So further down in the temperature. And in the third stage, the person becomes unconscious and he's not shivering, and we call it as severe hypothermia, and the temperature may be around 20 to 28. And then the fourth stage, where no vital signs are present, the person is apparently dead, and we say that it is profound hypothermia, where the core temperature is less than 20 degree centigrade, and the chances of survival, it is very, very slender in this case. In the third stage, if The facilities are available if the person is young and fit and healthy. Otherwise, almost 50% of these people can be saved. So hypothermia is often described as any condition in which the body temperature has fallen below 35 degrees Celsius, and with this method it is divided into degrees of severity based upon the core temperature. Another classification system, the Swiss system, divides the hypothermia based on the presenting symptoms, which is preferred when it is impossible to determine an accurate core temperature. Other cold related injuries that can be present either alone or in combination with hypothermia include chilblains, जो खासतौर से पैरों की उंगलियों में जो है ना एक abnormal sensation हो जाती हैं, superficial ulcers of the skin that occur when a predisposed individual is repeatedly exposed to cold, and frostbite, the freezing and then destruction of the tissues. Frost nip, जो कि इसकी initial stage है, frost nip is a superficial cooling of the tissues without cellular destruction. Trench foot or immersion foot is caused by repeated exposure to water at or near freezing temperature. Non लिखा गया, near है ये. So when the feet are immersed in cold water repeatedly or for a long time, like with the people who are marching. So marching on, so they may have to put their feet either on the snow or in the puddles where cold water may be present near freezing temperature. So these people, they may suffer from trench foot or immersion foot. Now the signs and symptoms of hypothermia, they depend upon the degree of hypothermia, and of course it may be divided into 3 stages of severity. The infant with hypothermia may feel cold when touched, and the skin may become bright red and unusual lack of energy. Now the newborn infants, they are very much prone to hypothermia because the thermoregulatory system in the newborn infant is not working, and also the temperature from the heat from the body is lost at a great rate, and if the baby is not fed properly and cannot maintain the temperature, the metabolic rate will become low. Mild symptoms may be vague with sympathetic nervous system excitation, that is shivering, hypertension, tachycardia, tachypnea, and vasoconstriction, which are the physiological responses to preserve the heat. Cold diuresis may be present. All of us, we have experienced this, that when there is extreme cold, we have to go repeatedly to the toilet. So that is cold diuresis. Mental confusion and hepatic dysfunction may also be present, which are actually which may be the symptoms. The person may have to pass urine more frequently, the person may be showing mental confusion, and there may be signs of hepatic dysfunction like vomiting, anorexia, jaundice. Hyperglycemia may be present as the person becomes disoriented. The glucose consumption by the cells and the insulin secretion, both of them decrease, and the tissue sensitivity to insulin may become blunt. That is, insulin may be present, but the tissues may not be able to utilize the glucose because the sensitivity to insulin is now reduced. So it leads to hyperglycemia. Sympathetic activation also releases glucose from the liver. In many cases, however, especially in the alcoholic patient, hypoglycemia appears to be a more common presentation. Hypoglycemia is also found in many hypothermic patients because hypothermia may be a resume of the hypoglycemia. So if the person is deprived of food, so the body temperature may drop because hypoglycemia has occurred, and the brain is unable to function. Moderate, Moderately low body temperature results in shivering, which is now become more violent. Muscle incoordination, it becomes apparent at this stage. Movements are slow and labored, accompanied by a stumbling gait and mild mental confusion, although the person may appear alert, but he may be confused. The surface blood vessels, the peripheral blood vessels, especially in the skin, they contract further as the body focuses its remaining resources on keeping the vital organs warm. So there is a shunting of the blood circulation from the skin and muscles and the non-vital organs like the GIT to the brain and to the kidneys. The subject become pale, whereas the lips, ears, fingers and toes, they may become blue because of the stagnation of the circulation. Severe hypothermia, as the temperature decreases further, the physiological symptoms falter, and the heart rate and the respiratory rate and the blood pressure all decrease. Now the physiological compensation which were being practiced by the body, they are now failing. So the heart rate becomes less, there is bradycardia present, the respiratory rate it also becomes less, and the blood pressure is falling. This result in an expected heart rate when the body temperature is 28 degrees Celsius, the heart rate may be only 30. Amnesia starts to appear. Inability to use hands and stumbling are usually present. Cellular metabolic processes, they become slow down. Below 30 degrees Celsius, the exposed surface become blue and puffy. There is edema present. That's why the blood vessels, they are unable to contract really and they are pouring fluid, and so the exposed surfaces they become blue and puffy. Muscle coordination is very poor. Walking becomes almost impossible. The person exhibits incoherent or irrational behavior. Like in extreme degrees of cold, the person may be found removing his clothes or walking around in circles or going to one place and then coming back. So this is irrational behavior, including terminal burrowing. Terminal burrowing is, some people they say it is a fetal response. We will be reading about it. Even there may be stupor present, pulse and the respiration rate they decrease significant. Sometimes heart rate may become fast due to ventricular tachycardia or atrial fibrillation. They can also occur. Major organs fail and clinically death occurs. So the person may be apparently dead or death may occur. Paradoxical undressing is 20 to 50% of the hypothermic deaths are associated with paradoxical undressing. This typically occurs during the moderate to severe hypothermia, as the confused and combative individual may become discarding their clothing, which in turn increases the rate of heat loss. I have seen this, that when there is extreme cold, the people who are confused mentally, who are suffering from Alzheimer, they may remove all their clothes and then say, okay, it's very cold. Rescuers who are trained in the mountain survival techniques are taught to expect this. However, some may assume incorrectly that the urban victims of hypothermia have been subjected to a sexual assault. It's no sexual assault. It is the mental confusion which has led to finding of a naked victim or a naked body. Hypothermia is a cold-induced malfunction of the hypothalamus that regulates the body temperature. Another explanation is that the muscle contracting peripheral blood vessels, they become exhausted. So it is loss of vasomotor tone. The blood vessels, they relax, leading to a sudden surge of blood and heat to the extremities. This may be the mechanism in case of alcohol, fooling the person into feeling overheated. So when the blood vessels, they relax, they become dilated. The blood goes in the peripheral portion in the skin, and the person may feel hot and thinking that he is suffering from heat may remove his clothes. Terminal burrowing is an apparent self-protection behavior. It is hide and die syndrome also. It occurs in the final stages of hypothermia. The afflicted victim will enter in the semi-enclosed space as underneath the bed or behind the wardrobe. It is often associated with paradoxical undressing. Researchers, they claim that it is obviously a process of the brainstem which is triggered in the final stage of hypothermia and produces a primitive and burrowing like behavior for protection as seen in the hibernating animals. It this burrowing, it happens mostly in the cases where temperature of the body drops slowly. The rate of hypothermia is strongly related to the degree of hypothermia usually occurs from exposure to the low temperature and is frequently complicated by alcoholic consumption. If a person is exposed to low temperature and also has taken alcohol in large amount, then hypothermia is going to occur more frequently. Any condition that decreases the heat production or increases the heat loss or impairs the thermoregulation, however, may contribute. So suppose if the person has taken barbiturates, hypothermia may occur. In case of barbiturate poisoning, the person may be showing signs of hypothermia even when the temperature of the atmosphere is not cold. Hypothermia risk factor includes substance abuse, which includes alcohol abuse or barbiturates or any CNS depressant. Homelessness, where the person does not have a shelter, is wandering around in the open. Any condition that affects the judgment, such as hypoglycemia. The person has got hypoglycemia, the brain cannot function properly and the judgment is affected. Extremes of the age, a newborn infant or a child or an old person, both of them, they are more prone to hypothermia. Poor clothing. If the person does not have adequate clothing, then the hypothermia may occur. Chronic medical conditions such as hypothyroidism, sepsis. So these conditions, they already cause lowering of the body temperature. Living in a cold environment where there is no heating facilities available. So that may result in chronic hypothermia, which the acute condition may be triggered due to any reason. Hypothermia occurs frequently after major trauma because the warm blood, flowing blood, it is removed from the circulation. So hypothermia occurs frequently after major trauma. It is also observed in severe cases of anorexia nervosa because in case of anorexia nervosa, there is no fat remaining in the body, no subcutaneous fat is present, so the heat loss becomes very rapid. Hypothermia may also be present in case of burns because when the skin is burnt, skin is the organ which conserves the heat. When the skin is burnt, then the heat preservation cannot be done and hypothermia may result. Alcohol consumption increases the risk of hypothermia by its action as a vasodilator. So when a person takes alcohol, there is peripheral vasodilatation. The blood circulation to the periphery, it increases, and the heat loss from the skin, it is also increased. Alcohol increases blood flow to the skin and extremities, making a person feel warm while increasing the heat loss. Between about 33 to 73% of the hypothermia cases are complicated by alcohol. So we can say that at least one third or up to more than two-thirds of the people, hypothermia may be complicated by the use of alcohol. Poverty is also a reason. In UK, 28,354 cases of hypothermia were treated in 2012 and 13, an increase of about 25% from the previous year. Some cases of hypothermic death, as well as other preventable deaths, happen because poor people cannot afford to keep themselves warm. They do not have adequate clothes, they do not have adequate food, they do not have any place to live which can be heated. Rising fuel bills have increased the number who have difficulty paying for adequate heating in UK, and some pensioners and disabled persons are at risk because they do not work, they cannot work and cannot easily get out of the homes also. For these people, better heat insulation can help in preventing the causation of hypothermia. There is another condition which is known as immersion in water. If the person is immersed in water, if the body surface is wet, if the clothes they are wet, then the heat loss becomes very fast. Hypothermia continues to be a major limitation to swimming or diving in cold water. The reduction in finger dexterity due to pain or numbness decreases the general safety at work, safety or work capacity, which consequently increases the risk of other injuries. So if a person is immersed in cold water, then the heat loss, it is much more rapid. Other factors predisposing to immersion hypothermia include dehydration. If the person is dehydrated, hypothermia will be very rapid. Inadequate warming between the repetitive dives. If the person is diving, he should have an interval between two dives in the cold water and should have the body properly warmed. Starting a dive while wearing cold wetsuit or the undergarments which are wet, and sweating when he was at work, and then going to have a dip in the cold water. Inadequate thermal insulation, for example, thin dry suits or thin dry undergarments, and poor physical conditioning. If a person has gone from, say, Pakistan to a cold country, then the chances that such people they are going to suffer from hypothermia is much more. Similarly, if a person is traveling from a temperate or cold climate to a warm country, the chances that such a person will be having injury or heat stroke, and that will be much more. Heat is lost much more quickly in water than in air, thus water temperatures that would be quite reasonable as outdoor air temperature can lead to hypothermia in the survival, although this is rare. Usually the direct clinical cause of death from those who are not rescued. A water temperature of 10 degrees centigrade can lead to death in as little as 1 hour. Water temperature near freezing can cause death in as little as 15 minutes. A notable example of this occurred during the sinking of the Titanic, when most people who entered the water, which has got a temperature of about 2 degrees Celsius, they died within 15 to 30 minutes from hypothermia. The actual cause of death in cold water is usually the body reaction to heat loss and to freezing water rather than hypothermia, which is the loss of core temperature itself. So in case of freezing cold water, the cause of death usually is from ventricular failure. For example, if the person is plunged into freezing seas, around 20% of the victim die within 2 minutes from the cold shock. It leads to uncontrolled rapid breathing, gasping, causing water inhalation, and massive increase in the blood pressure and cardiac uh, in the cardiac arrhythmias, where there may be cardiac arrest, there may be panic. Another 50% may die within 15 to 30 minutes from cold incapacitation, inability to use or control the limbs and hand, swimming or gripping as the body protectively shuts down the peripheral muscles of the limbs to protect its core temperature. Exhaustion and unconsciousness, they cause drowning and claiming the rest within a similar time. So this is the various contributory factors which can lead to death from hypothermia. Okay. I finished my lecture here, and inshallah we'll continue next time. Allah Hafiz.